Hi guys, I am back today with a video of my flawless face routine. So this is going to be a tutorial showing you my face routine using only drugstore products. So every product that I use today are products that I recommend. And with that, let's get started. I have my eyes done already. I'm doing a sort of a easy to wear blue smoky eye. So I'll probably do a tutorial on that coming up, but I have my eyes done and I have my moisturizer on my skin. So the next thing that I'm going to put on my skin is a primer. Now, primers are so big right now at the store. You can get super expensive high-end primers. You can find a lot of drugstore primers, and it's kind of hard to choose which primer to use. It's hard to know what to use. So what I'm going to show you now is not a traditional primer. You may, if you are, no stranger to YouTube, then you've seen this a billion times before. But if you're new to watching makeup tutorials or new to my channel, hi and welcome. But I'm going to tell you about a product called Monistat Complete Care Chafing Relief Powder Gel. This is a cream gel kind of formula that you're supposed to put on like your inner thighs when you're wearing a skirt so your legs don't chafe, right? Or wherever chafing might occur, like underneath your bra straps or something like that, so that you're just more comfortable in your skin. So it's not any kind of a treatment from Monistat, nothing like that. It's just a powder gel. And basically the main ingredient in it is dimethicone. And it's the same main ingredient in so many high-end primers. Okay, I have this sample from Lorac. It's the Porefection Mattifying Face Primer, and I've been trying it out. It is the exact same thing. Like, it performs exactly the same as the Monistat, I swear. And look at this tiny sample. The full size of this is probably like $30, and I'm never gonna buy it because this is $6 at the drugstore and it works exactly the same. I have a little sample right now from an order I just placed of the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer, which is like the classic, awesome primer. Again, it's like exactly the same. It's exactly the same. So I'm starting with that. End rant. I'm starting with that. I'm just taking a little bit. I don't know if you can see that amount on my hand because it's clear, and I'm rubbing it between my fingers, and I'm going to tap it into areas where my pores are the most visible. And it's just really going to help smooth out my skin tone and make the the texture a lot better. So notice that I'm not rubbing. I don't want to apply the product and then rub it off. I'm tapping and pressing it into my skin. Okay, and it feels very smooth and silky, very nice. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my Revlon Colorstay. Now, I recommend this foundation because it is super long wearing. It's awesome, but you can also get it for like your particular skin type. So I have it in combination oily, but you can get it for normal to dry skin as well. And they have a really huge range of shades. So I highly recommend this. The one thing I hate is it doesn't have a pump, so I've got to shake it and sort of like dollop a little bit onto my fingertip. I'm just going to dot it around my face. So I look really awesome with crazy dots all over my face. But this foundation, it's so easy to find your shade because of the clear glass bottle, and there's just such a variety of them. So whatever undertone you are and whatnot, you're going to find a shade for you. So I am in the shade 220 Natural Beige, and I'm using a dampened beauty blender. So I've run it under water, and I wring out all of the water and pressed it in a towel. So it's just very slightly damp. And I'm just doing like bouncing motions and bouncing the foundation into my skin. Again, it's not a wiping motion. There's no like circular motion or rubbing motion. It's just a tapping, bouncing the foundation into my skin. So again, I'm pressing it in, and it's gonna make it, well, the Beauty Blender, first of all, is amazing. And I guess, maybe because of the cost of the Beauty Blender, this shouldn't be in the drugstore foundation routine. But I know the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge or whatever is super affordable, and I've heard it's pretty comparable. I really want to try it and see. but I've heard really good things. So you could use that instead. But the same kind of technique, you're just gonna bounce it into your skin. So what I love about this foundation is it's very light to medium coverage. Like, you can tell that my skin is very evened out from that. Like, I have very fair skin, and so any redness or if I'm ever flushed, you can really see it. And the product just totally took care of that. Like, I'm getting a really even canvas from the Revlon Colorstay. And because I'm applying it with this damp sponge, I'm getting a really nice texture too. My skin looks soft. It doesn't look cakey like I'm wearing a ton of makeup. It just looks like my skin, but a lot better. Okay, so now that the foundation is bounced in, if I had some like issues going on right now, I would probably go back with like a touch more and cover up spots, but right now I'm good. So I'm gonna go ahead and take some concealer now. I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, another like cult classic, especially if you watch YouTube. Everybody loves this guy, and I like it. I actually have a favorite concealer that I'm like slowly using because I don't want it to go away. This one is from CoverGirl and Olay, the Simply Ageless collection, and they do not make it anymore. And so I can't find it. It's gone. It's been gone. And so I'm just sort of using it. It's like a thick, creamy concealer, and it's perfection for me. Like, it works so well. I've heard good things about the Time Balm concealer from the Balm, that it might be really similar to this, so I think I'm gonna get that. But anyway, today I'm using my Fit Me concealer. I love the doe foot applicator because it just makes it really precise to put the product where I need it. And especially with a blue smoky eye, I want the area under my eyes to be really light, so I don't want the blue to like bring out the blue like dark circleness under the eyes. So this looks really crazy right now, but so I've just tapped on some of the product, and I'm taking the pointed end of my Beauty Blender and I'm just gonna press that in as well. So I have it up into the corner, not just under the eye, and then also out to the outer corner, like right underneath my brow bone. You could even, if you have some like redness on your brow bone, you could even take the concealer up to the brow bone area and like tap it out up there. Okay, so you can see a huge difference in this eye. And we'll take some of that scary product and blend it around over here and get the same thing. So now the blue smoky eye just pops. It's not looking like I have dark bags under my eyes or anything like that with that color there. And again, just the dampness of a sponge like this really makes everything look natural. I don't have any cakiness from the product. So everything's looking, you know, how I want it to. It looks nice. Okay, so for the finish, I am going to use two different powders. I'm going to use my Physicians Formula Mineral Wear Talc Free Buff Beige Mineral Correcting Powder. Oh my gosh, that's a mouthful. To set my under eye concealer. And you can see the finish on this foundation is pretty matte. Like, my skin looks pretty natural, but it's not like super matte where it looks like I'm definitely wearing makeup, and it's not shiny, so it's kind of a nice balance. So I'm not going to set my whole face actually. I'm just going to take this e.l.f. Ultimate blending brush, which is new from e.l.f., and it's nice. It's a nice dense brush, but it has sort of a smaller head. And I'm going to dip it into the correcting powder in like the yellow zone. So I'm tapping that in there, and I'm just going to tap it under my eyes to set that concealer so that it doesn't crease up in my fine lines. Okay, and then if I had any like excess shine going on, or I know like I tend to get shine in like this area of my T-zone, I can tap a little bit on there as well. I'll just take the excess off my brush and put that there. But what I'm going to use next is the Wet n Wild Color Icon Bronzer. It calls itself a bronzer, but this is the shade Reserve Your Cabana. And I talked about this in a recent review of like Wet n Wild products you have to have, because I love this product. It's so illuminizing. It's like an illuminator, you know, without being crazy. It just makes my face look healthy and fresh. So I'm going to sweep my brush through this, and I'm just going to drag it across my forehead. I'm going to drag it across my cheekbones. I'm going to drag it across my chin, and I'm going to take any product that's on like my jawline, and I'm going to pull it down my neck. And this is, I mean, it has a slight color to it because I guess it's a bronzer, but so I want my skin to look pretty seamless from face to neck. And you could do that with all the products. Like if your foundation is not a perfect color match, you definitely want to blot that in down your neck as well when you're using that beauty blender. So what I would want to do for my skin, because I am very fair, I would want to give myself a little bit of color. So to finish off the flawless face, I'm just going to take a bronzer from e.l.f. This is the Cool bronzer, and I'm going to, it looks like this. I'm going to give my face some dimension, do a little bit of sculpting. I'm just going to stick with the same brush and see how that goes. I'm going to take the brush and just dip the corner of it into the lighter bronzer color. It's the cooler shade. And just dabbing that in the corner, I'm going to press it along where I would have like the hollow of my cheekbone. Do a little bit of contouring, just to give my face some dimension so it doesn't look flat. And then I'm going to go in on the other side and do the same thing. You can see it just kind of throws a pop of dimension in there that gives my face a more sculpted appearance. So I can take these baby cheeks of mine and make them look a little more sleek. And I'm not going to stop here, so if you're feeling like that's like a scary stripe down my face, don't you worry, there's more. I'm going to dip the brush just kind of like across the colors and tap off the extra, and I'm going to blot some of that around my hairline. So I picked up some of the more pinkish color from here, which I'm going to be using as a blush in a second, and I picked up the bronzy shades and even some of the more of like a setting or highlighting shade by just tapping it all around. And I'm pulling that around my forehead just to give like a natural sun-kissed look to the top of my face. I'm going to pull some of that shade again down the sides of my nose. Some of that lighter bronzer shade, which is my contouring shade, just to give my nose a little bit of definition. And now I'm just going to take the same like tap of all the colors. I'm going to pull some down my neck so that it doesn't look weird like I have like a white neck and, you know, sun-kissed face. And then I'm going to grab just the blush color with like the roundest part of this brush, and I'm going to tap that on my cheeks, which will help blend out some of that contour and just bring a little life back to my face. So there we have it. Again, we can take a look at the blue smoky eye in another tutorial, but that is my kind of my go-to right now for my drugstore products, my favorite flawless face routine. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or recommendations for other products that you love from the drugstore that give you a flawless face, I'd love to see your comments, and I hope you'll give this video a thumbs up. See you next time. Bye.